Wellington is, we're always looking to make assessment more meaningful and think about how we can improve learning for kids in a more immediate way. Specific feedback is so important for kids, and as well as them trying to be engaged in the learning rather than just the teacher talking. So those are some things that we're working on as a school. The through course tasks are available to us through the district in both ELA and math, and our first grade team today is going through the process of the through course task in math. It really gives an opportunity to teach a common lesson and give kids the opportunity to explore patterns through the common lesson, as well as see how learning is developing over time.
Today, during our math lesson, we are doing a task called a through course task for the students. It's a 3-day task that we've been working on. We did a pre-test yesterday, and we're going to do the task today on if the kids can recognize patterns in a hundreds chart. So the kids are going to get a broken up, cut up piece of a hundreds chart, and they're going to manipulate it into pieces and try to fill in the holes, and we're going to record observations on what we're seeing to use in the future to assist them in decomposing that hundreds chart.
During guided math, I meet with 3 groups that are differentiated based on our students' skills and abilities. And so they go to 3 different rotations. One of those rotations is that they come and work with me, and that's whenever they are getting focused instruction where I'm giving them feedback on whatever our skill is at the time. They will also be doing math tubs, which are just activities that I have created for them to either work on number sense, or working on a skill that we've just completed, or a skill that we are currently working on. That way we're spiraling through, or they're getting constant work even after they left with me. And the final rotation is technology, where they are on the computer doing Success Maker, the program that grows and learns with them, or they are on iPads, where they are also doing some math apps to help and continue to practice those skills. So I took what they had completed yesterday as their pre-test, and I grouped them into 3 groups today so that I would know which groups had similar issues or similar strengths, and they'll be working alongside their peers to discuss patterns that they see in the hundreds chart, and they will be also challenging one another with some questions that they might have or observations they might make. But during that time, I will be the facilitator. I won't be giving them explicit instruction. I'll just be guiding them through it by asking questions and listening to them.
We're expecting to see how kids are learning based on what did they know in the pre-test information versus now I've given them this piece of instruction. Now I'm facilitating the conversations and letting them explore, and then testing again to see did that have a positive impact on their learning. Do they know more about numbers and patterns in this particular through course task than they did 3 days ago? It's a way of checking in and providing feedback to help student learning in a more immediate way versus teaching over the course of a unit and waiting a long time to get the assessment results. We can make changes faster to our instruction and give kids in the small group setting feedback quicker.
So it does not go there. And the 647 is right here. 57. Oops, it's more trickier. Nope. I think 34 is on top of 33.
Did you tell why you put that there?
Because when you start again, you look at the 22 and I know that when you count back from 22, it's 21.
So can you use a word like 10 more, 10 less for me?
We don't have enough. It's 10 more than 16. What?
10 more than, 23 is 10 more than what?
13.
13. Good job. All right. Will you do this one for me, please?
All of these.
So what number do you have?
This one must not be 30.
36.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. You're onto something. Now, why do you think the 46 belongs here?
So because if the 38 belongs here, and there's only one space right here, right? So it goes like 8, 7, 88.
Very good. So you're looking at your patterns of 8s, 7s, 6s.
My job is just to sit back and observe them and record my observations of what they're seeing and their conversations on how they are composing the hundreds chart. So as a kid places a piece on the hundreds chart, I will write down what I see and how their reasoning on why they put that piece there. And then later on, I'll go back and look at my notes and I'll see that this kid has a good foundation of, 10 more or 10 less or 1 more or 1 less. We gave them their pretest yesterday and then we looked at them and we flex grouped the kids to see what group, almost in like mistakes. So, and then today when they come back, they'll work with those groups together. Then tomorrow when we do the post test, we're hoping that those holes are closed.
All through first grade, we're really trying to develop their number sense. And so we want them to see that if you can figure out the patterns in a hundreds chart, you can really start to get that mental picture of how numbers work together. So if they see that there's a 1 in this column, then there's going to be a 1 in every single box down below, and they'll start to see 1, 11, 21, 31. They'll see, oh, 1, 2, 3, and they'll start to really notice the patterns and develop that internal number sense.
The teachers are finding this is a meaningful way of assessing. The kids don't feel like they're being assessed right now. They feel like they're in small math groups and they're sorting the cards. The teachers are serving as the facilitators, which is a little bit of a different role, because as teachers we want kids to be really successful and sometimes tell them too much, but the teachers are using questioning to help the kids discover the answers themselves. So yes, it's been different and a little unnerving, but once we've gotten into the process, it really does fit into the flow of what we're doing.
I saw the 5s here. How did you know to put a 60 right there?
If you think about it, 69, if you put 69, it would not make sense. So you want to put 60 after 59 because you just don't go 50-10.
Oh, great, works for me. Does that work for you? Okay.
There would be 33 after those two.
Absolutely. Good job. Okay, Camden, it's your turn. Okay, are you explaining to each other? Chloe, why does that number go right there?
Because that was my number. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that this is a 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because it has a 31.
Uh-huh.
And the 10s are the 3 and the 1s are the 1.
Good job. So you know that it's going to be 10.
And it was in this place.
Okay.
And it was in the wrong place because I had this one.
Okay. So where does that one go?
It goes here.
Why did you put that one there?
Because this one belongs there, belongs under 3s. See, this one's the 10s, this one's the 1s.
Okay.
Think about your hundreds chart. Why did you move it? You're correct when you moved it.
Because I know that because I saw the 30s down here, so this would be the 20s.
So you know these are the 30s and these are the 20s on the hundred chart. Do you agree with that? Okay, keep going. I'm anxious to see how today goes. Sitting back and observing, that's hard for teachers, and we want to kind of jump in there and help guide them. With our lower groups, they're gonna need more assistance on telling the why and the hows as far as placing the pieces. The higher groups, we're going to be sitting back and observing more. But as a teacher, that's going to be quite the challenge for me to sit back and observe that. My hope is that tomorrow they come out stronger and better after they've talked with each other and completed their tasks together, because kids, they learn better from each other.
I would really love for the students to begin to feel more confident in their ability to teach one another. Teachers can be very long-winded, and so sometimes I start to be the center of the conversation, and I want this to be an experience for me to just listen to how the students communicate with one another and really challenge myself to focus more on the asking questions rather than giving answers.
It's interesting to see the questioning and the engagement of the children that looks different. For instance, I'm listening to teachers really be the facilitator, saying, how do you know that? Can you tell me in terms of 10 more, 10 less? Can you tell me why you think that? Do you agree with her? Do you challenge that? Instead of telling them the right answer.
For the kids, when I looked at their task and what they were doing, a lot of them were having trouble with explaining. They could explain, the number, they would put the number in the right spot, but they didn't have the vocabulary to tell me 10 more or 10 less or 1 more or 1 less. So I know for me, that's going to be the next steps that we're going to do next week. We're going to dive into that and learn that vocabulary and try to fill in those holes. As a team, we did things that were a little different amongst ourselves, but the outcome really was the same. We saw that there were holes in our teaching and where we need to go for next steps.
There was a totally different energy throughout the entire room, whether they were with me or at a computer or at a math tub. I think they really felt ownership in the lesson, and so they I think enjoyed being challenged. One thing we had discussed yesterday was that even after the lesson was over and they were doing their assessment at the end, they were flipping it over and they were creating their own tasks and their own puzzles, and they were begging for us to even take the tasks and put them as one of their new math tubs. So they were very much enjoying the challenge of teaching one another.